Okay, welcome everyone. I'm super happy to have you here. So, through all my years of coaching and many mistakes that I have made myself, I am going to share with you tonight the top mistakes entrepreneurs are currently making. And I really see it as costing them time, money, and ultimately their happiness, because I truly believe I want you to make a lot of money while still feeling at peace. And I want to be an example. I've reached multiple six figures in not all peace, but that is always my goal. And so I always want to teach you how to build your business with peace and joy and ease and like femininity and all that goodness. So now my next goal is reaching seven figures with that same peace, because there's so many people in business and they're always just talking about the hustle and the grind, and it's super masculine, and masculine and feminine has nothing to do with gender. It's just an energy. But I want to show a different way. I've always felt like I have lived between two worlds, the spiritual world and the ease and the self-development world, and then the business and that hustle. And that's kind of my natural, is to go, go, go. And I spent so many years in this go, go, go that I was exhausted, burnt out, overwhelmed, anxious. And now I need to create this space in the middle. So that's what I'm super passionate about. And I'm going to talk about all of that in this presentation, as well as actual business tools and tips so that you can increase your revenue, be more productive, and just be a happier person. Because if you're not enjoying the journey of entrepreneurship, just not worth it. That's my belief anyways. Okay, so who am I? If we do not know each other yet, welcome. I am Vanessa Ortali. I am a business strategist and mindset expert. So I am a one-on-one coach. I also do group programs and public speaking. I normally work with entrepreneurs, leaders, celebrities to really help them either scale their business and or find more joy and peace, which I kind of already talked about already. So I'm going to skip through this because I know a lot of people go into all their credentials, and yes, I went to business school. I've been studying business and mindset for over 20 years. I'm obsessed with mindset and business. It is my passion. It is my joy. I'm always learning and growing, but I want to make sure we're maximizing your time right here. And I'm going to assume you know more about me than I think you do. Maybe you found me on Instagram. I am Vanessa O, or you can check me out and send me a message, because we're here to serve you tonight, and I want to make sure you get a ton of info. I love to give you a lot of information. So again, if you find that you're a little bit overwhelmed, that's okay. I know when I learned a lot of these things, I thought, holy crap, I have so much to do. Pay attention to those thoughts. And then what we need to do is pick, what is your next step? Take it one step at a time. And if you want to hop on a call with me, just let me know. We can definitely strategize what your next steps are for your business. So this workshop specifically is for online entrepreneurs. Now with COVID, obviously so many people have had to pivot. I believe this information is important for everyone, because even if you have a brick and mortar or you're selling a product, it's important to know these concepts, because you can build your business regardless of your industry. So I'm super happy to share this info with you. So what we're going to go over today, summary. Here are the 6 biggest mistakes entrepreneurs are making. Number 1, their mindset. You can't control anything. You can control one thing, and even that sometimes is questionable. You can control your thoughts. You can control your mind. You can control what you're thinking about and how you respond to it. I truly believe as an entrepreneur, your success is going to be make or break based on this. Nothing else. The business strategy is simple. It's not always easy, so I'm not going to, downplay it. It's simple strategies, but you are going to be your own worst enemy. And when you dive into entrepreneurship, everything comes up to look at. It is this mirror. It is this magnifying glass of, holy crap, this is still in me. Your past, your stories, your thought processes, your patterns, your habits, all that shit's going to come to the surface. Your ability to deal with that, to react to it, and to rise above and show up and truly tap into your power and your best self, this is where it's at. So that's the number 1 mistake. We're going to talk about, though, all of these mistakes, and I'm going to give you strategies for each. Second mistake people always make, business strategy. They don't know business because they are passionate about their product or their service, and they don't care to learn about it. So they don't know how they're making money and where their money is coming from, and then they're always short. And they're always serving, and not paying themselves, right? You might be able to relate to this. Number 3 is they don't actually create an offer. They don't know what they're selling. Even if it's a product or a service, it doesn't matter. Being really clear on what you're selling and does it sell. So I'm going to give you tips on how to make sure it actually sells. Number 4 is building community. Based on our current environment, whether you're an individual or a company, everything is sold through community now. It's so important for you to build community first, and then you can sell and service that community in a variety of different ways. I also want to say in this statement that whether you believe it or not, everyone has a personal brand right now. Your Instagram, how you show up every day, is your personal brand. This attaches to your community, enabling you to make money. Number 5, providing value. It is so important for you to step up as an expert and a leader and someone that people know, like, and trust. So making sure that you're providing value on a consistent basis to build that know, like, and trust factor. And number 6, did I do more than 6? No, we're 6. Okay, is sales. People are just not selling. 80% of your time should be spent on sales. So when I say that, I want you to think, how much of my time is actually spent on sales right now? Is it 80%? It's probably not. My coaches are always keeping me real on this. And so really looking at how much of your time are you spending on sales? Okay, here we go. Mindset. So the biggest mindset mistakes people are making, and I want to these are really good for reflection too. If you're a journaler, these will be really helpful. Are you curious right now? Like, are you curious to learn? Are you curious to grow? I was just talking to my partner today, and I was just telling him, I am just so psyched about my business. I love this growth. I love this scaling phase. I love figuring it out. Are you curious, or have you lost that curiosity? This brings us back to enjoying the journey. Be curious. Enjoy the journey. Enjoy where you're going and what you're learning and who you're becoming in the process. Another thing that I see, entrepreneurship and building a business will also highlight your relationship and belief about money. What is your relationship with money? How do you respond to money? Do you like money? Does money like you? There's this whole thing. I think I'm going to have to do an entire workshop on money mindset, and pop it in the comments if you need that. But I really need you to get real on your relationship with money. Because if you don't like money and money doesn't like you, entrepreneurship is going to be a lot harder. When I look at how I was raised, and my family all came from Europe, so I'm first generation Canada, and I was raised to believe that money was hard and it was really difficult to come by, and you had to save it, and things were really expensive, and we're always looking at prices. And so it's really important to look what those natural stories are that you have in your brain so that you can start to shift them. Because now I just go by the fact that I love money and money loves me. Money is easy. Money flows. And I love it. It's okay to love money. It's just energy. And money is energy, but we'll talk more about that after. Okay, focus. As an entrepreneur, it is so important to focus on your thoughts. Be impeccable about your thoughts. This is also going to come into play when we're talking about business strategy. The less things you focus on, the better. Depending on what stage of your business you are in, if you're in the very beginning stages, girl, I want you to focus selling one product, one offer. Just sell that, blinders on. This is going to make a huge difference in your business. I went to 6 figures selling one product, just one. That's it. And we'll go into a little bit more of that in your business strategy so you know what you want your actual business structure and revenue structure to look like. Another thing I want to highlight here under mindset it is so important for you to know, what does it feel like for you to be at your best self? As an entrepreneur, I need you to show up as her as often as possible. I need you to know what she feels like, what she looks like, what she acts like. And I say this out of personal experience because of this next point. There is a difference between inspired action and forced action. As an entrepreneur, I was really stuck in the headspace of like, go, go, go. What do you have to do to be successful? Right? And that's exhausting and time consuming and really messes with you. Once you start actually focusing on your mind, slowing down, focusing on what you need to do and what's going on up here, you start to be able to follow the inspired action, and that will get you much further than the hustle. So I want to remind you, stillness is your access point to acceleration. Stillness is your access point to acceleration. Don't be scared to go slow, to slow down and follow your inspiration. Now, I'm going to put a little asterisk there, and that this is why you need a coach or someone who's going to be on your ass telling you when you're fooling yourself, because sometimes people confuse their fear for inspiration, and that's for a different discussion. But I really want you to consider these as you continue to build your business. Being present and authentic, enjoying your journey, being real, vulnerable, and just loving where you're at. Honor where you're at right now on your journey. Because you're going to go through the rest of this business stuff and you're going to think, crap, I have so much to do. I am so far from my goal. That's okay. You have so many fun and exciting things to experience in your business. So experience what you're going through right now. And when you get to the other steps, you'll love those just as much. A couple things that I do to make sure that I practice all of these tools is visualize. I visualize every single morning on two things. Number one, my highest self. Who is she? What does she feel like? And I get so connected to her. Number two is how I want to feel in my life. How I want to feel when I'm experiencing the things I want to experience, when I'm working with my ideal clients, when I'm traveling, when I'm providing value and being of service. Feel it, be it. Your entrepreneurial journey, a lot of the time, is moving from your head to your heart. It's moving from what you know to who you are being every single day. So ask yourself, who am I being? Who am I actually showing up as? This links to your authenticity. Are you being and embodying everything that you're saying and everything that you're telling others to do? You gotta be her first. It all starts with you. All starts with you. And this brings me to my last 2 points under mindset is surrender, because you don't have to know how right now. Take it one step at a time. Take it one thought at a time, one action at a time, and surrender to the rest. That's where it also connects so beautifully to visualization. I want you to feel what you want to feel like in your ideal life. I don't want you to care so much about how it's going to happen. Being so connected to the how is actually going to prevent you from helping others, being of service, and building revenue. Because you're going to be so stuck on how it needs to happen that you're not going to see the signs and the things that are being thrown at you. So there's such an element of surrender. I can literally talk about all these concepts for our entire presentation, but I want to make sure to give you all 6 mistakes. So the last question I want to ask you before we move on to the next business phase is, what is one thing that you're not doing right now? And if you started doing it, it would change your life, your professional and or your personal life. And the reason I ask this question is because I want you to give yourself more credit. You know so much more than you think you do. Even as a coach, when I coach others, I can get so in my head sometimes of, well, what am I going to teach them and what am I going to do for them? And then I just stop and I remember, my job is to show them their true power, to get them in alignment with their true power. And the tools and the tips, they just come. But you, whatever you do, whether you're providing a service or a product, you are a vessel from which love, light, peace, joy comes through you into this earth. Stop making it all about you. Just show up, be you, and allow everything to come through you into this world. Because if you have that calmness and that confidence, I tell you, money is going to flow, right? It's leaving aside that like hustle. What do you have to do? Just stop. Who do you have to be? Who do you have to be? And be her. Be her now. So we're now going to go into, well, I just said here, if this mindset stuff's your jam, please DM me. I have an online course that I dive all into this. I spend months building this, and it will honestly change every area of your life. So just DM me or go check out launchyourpower.com/online-course. And then you'll be able to see all of the resources there. And I'm happy to answer any questions. So let's go into business strategy. I want you to ask yourself, what are you an expert at? Do you have any business sense? And I don't want you to get attached to the answer of do you have any business sense? Because even if you don't have business sense, that is okay. You just need to be curious. You just want to learn. When I first started my online business, I didn't know any of this stuff. Right? I knew some of it from business school, but let me be honest with you. Business school didn't teach me any of this. I learned all of this through trial and error, through getting out there and just taking some action. And you learn one step at a time. You meet people along the way that teach you. And that's all we're doing. We're teaching others what we've learned because it made such a huge difference for me. And I don't want you to make the same mistakes I did. So I want you to think about, it's okay if you don't have any business strategy experience. I just want you to think out, what am I an expert at? And do I have a curiosity to learn? And then make sure you're surrounding yourself with the right people so that you're able to learn what you don't know, because you don't have to know it all, right? Right now I'm learning about ads and more funnels and all of that. And that's okay. It's exciting. You just continue to learn and build if that is what interests you. So let's go into this business strategy. So when figuring out the best business strategy for you, I need you to go back and answer this question as to who are you serving? I need you to remember that you are helping someone else. You are solving a problem, whether you are offering a product or a service. So what problem do you solve and for who? That's it. Make it really simple. Okay? So what I want you to do, I always love giving tips, and I want you to get so much away from this workshop. I want you to create a list, get a sheet of paper, and create a list. I want you to create 3 columns. The first column is, what are my target demographic? What are their challenges and pain points? Like, what is keeping them up at night? What are they worried about? Then in the second column, I want you to think about, what are their dreams, goals, desires? What do they want their life to look like? And then in the third column, you're going to write, well, how do I help them? How do I help them solve that problem? This is going to become your foundation when you build your emails, when you build your social media. Always come back to this. You may end up coming back to this and being more specific with your target audience, and that's okay. Always be coming back to this. What problem are you solving? And give yourself permission to evolve. As you evolve your business and you evolve as a person, I'm always coming back to this. And I'm getting more specific on my target demographic, or I'm really getting more specific on the problem that I'm solving. I want you to give yourself a little bit of grace here, because when you start your business, you may not fully know. And that's okay. I don't want your lack of clarity to prevent you from starting, because oftentimes clarity comes through action. And the more you talk, the more you show up, the more you're going to figure out, I really love talking about this, and I love serving this, or I really light up when I'm talking to these people. So allow yourself some grace, but make sure you're very clear throughout your process and just have fun as you evolve and your business evolves with you. So business strategy. This is so important, because if you don't figure out how you're going to make your monthly revenue, then that's when you end up just on the struggle train. You end up struggling all the time and never being able to pay for anything and never knowing where your money's coming from. So we need you to know your numbers. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to write down, how much money do you want to make this year? Okay, in the next 12 months, how much money do you want to make? Then from that figure, we're going to break it down to monthly. So if you want to make, let's say 120K, that's 10K a month, right? But here on this example, I put 100K, right? So if you want 100K, that's under 10K a month, obviously. Now, what we're going to do, so you're going to do your yearly goal, then your monthly goal. In that monthly goal now, I need you to figure out, okay, how am I going to get there? If you want 3K a month, 5K a month, how are you going to get there? So I want you to actually do the math, because this is when people start looking at the numbers and saying, crap, I need to sell a lot of my product, or I'm not charging enough because I can't sell that. So I need you to know, is it feasible for you to reach your goals with the current offer and product that you currently have? So for example, if you want to make 100K, that's 500 units at $20, or 20 units at $5,000, or 100 units at $1,000. So that's when we start to see, is your goal realistic and how are you going to get there? Work backwards. So when I first started and I was doing my 6K, I did 6K in 6 months selling high ticket product. So it doesn't mean that you have to do that, but I just need you to be realistic with the numbers, because if you're selling a $100 product, you have to sell 1,000. Can you get to 1,000? Right? Make sense? Or no? Yes. Yes. Don't mind me. When I'm doing these presentations, I am not in numbers and math mode. So if you're watching this later and thinking, she's an idiot, anyone can do this. That's okay. Okay, so here's where I say long-term cash, short-term cash. What am I talking about? I need you to make sure you are financially secure on a monthly basis. What are you getting paid right now? How are you paying your bills? This is your short-term cash. So often I see people focusing on their long-term cash. I'm going to sell something now, but they're not going to get the money till later. So let's say they're selling a course, or they're working on a course, or they're selling an event. When are you getting your money? Are you getting it now, short-term? Are you getting it later, long-term? Okay, make sure you're solidifying your short-term cash, your monthly cash that you're getting now, before working on your long-term. What that might look like, if you provide a service and you're doing an online course, if you're working on your online course right now and you have not pre-sold your course, you might be spending 3 months on this course, launch it, and not one person buys. Then what? Right? Same with an event. You might be working so hard on this event right now, then COVID happens or we go into another lockdown, no money. I need you to solidify your short-term cash before you start working on those long-term investments. And investing your time is what I mean by investment. And this is just so important, because I wasn't doing this right. This is one of my biggest mistakes I made. I was focusing on the long term and not worrying about the short term. And then I got to a point where I didn't have enough money to pay for food. And I was screwed. I didn't know what I was going to do or how I was going to get out of it. And you know what? I figured it out. But I really, really emphasize, make sure you know how you're making your monthly revenue now. Feed yourself first, please. Please, please, please. A lot of people that work in the health and wellness industry also will forget about this, and they think, I'm just serving. They're such good people. They want to help. They want to serve. But you need to help yourself so you can help others. there are 3 ways for you to make money. So if you're looking at your numbers and you're thinking, I don't know how I'm going to get to my goal, there's 3 ways for you to make more money. You can either get more clients, right? You can increase your prices, or the people that you currently have will buy multiple products. So each person, each client that you have ends up spending more because they buy multiple products. Now, I don't want you to just think, oh, that's fine. I'm going to sell a course and a one-on-one and group and this t-shirt and this fashion brand. Especially, remember what I said in the beginning of this presentation. If you are just starting out your business, I'm talking to you right now, I need you to have laser focus. Make sure you hit your numbers with one product and then go from there, okay? Once you solidify that one product, you know it sells, you validate that people want it, and you have evidence that you can help people and that people actually want your product or your service, then you can continue to grow and expand. So that's why I say business strategy is simple, not always easy. Start with one and then you just replicate. You're replicating the same thing with different products, different services. If you're at all confused, send me a DM. We can hop on a call and I'm happy to go through this strategy with you. Or if you want to just send me, hey, you know, I was on your presentation and here's my product, here's my price, here's what I want to make. I can help you and go through that and make sure you're going to reach your goals. Okay. I know this is super, super useful and can take a little bit more time. But I'm going to give you the highlights of how to make sure you get here. So we're going to talk about creating your offer. We start with the numbers, right? So I need you to know, how much do you want to make? Once you know how much you want to make, then we can figure out what you're going to actually sell. Does that make sense? Too often people put the offer before the numbers and then the offer doesn't match the numbers. So you need to do your numbers first. So know your numbers, work backwards, know your audience. We already talked about that. The first step to creating your best offer is really looking at what problem are you solving, and I need you to have fun. I need you to sit down by yourself, sit down with a friend, and I need you to write out, okay, what would be really fun to offer my ideal client? How can I help them with this problem that they're having? What do they need? And just enjoy yourself. Don't think about, oh, I can't provide that, or how am I going to do that, or that's going to be too expensive. Brainstorm means you don't judge yourself or your ideas. Okay, so just write it down. Then what I want you to do is I need you to ask people. I need you to get on your Facebook groups, your Instagram, your family, your friends, and I need you to start asking people. Survey them. Are they interested in that product? What are their current problems? What are their current challenges? What solutions are they looking for? What do they feel like they need? You know, really getting in their head. When I accidentally built my community, I guess now 4 years ago. I now have a community of over 20,000 women, and I still have no idea what I'm doing. And I say that not out of, not to be coy or facetious. I don't want to make fun. The reason I say that is because I don't pretend to know. If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, I'm literally asking people all the time, what are you going through? What are your challenges? This helps me serve. If your business is to serve or to solve a problem, or whether it's a product or a service, you're solving a problem, you need to make sure they're still having that problem. They still need you. Survey them all the time. I would survey them daily if I could, but I do it weekly. You can survey via SurveyMonkey or any survey platform, Google. You can survey over Instagram, Facebook polls and discussions. Always be asking. I need to make sure that you're selling something that people actually want, okay? The good thing about surveying as well is they're going to give you language that they're currently using and that resonates with them. So then you can look at the language that they're using when they explain their challenges, and then you can make sure that when you're selling the product or the service that you have, you're using similar language that resonates with your target demographic, right? You're just gathering data. It's perfect. So listen to what they want, provide them what they want. The good thing here is you can always pre-sell. So if you're selling a group, a course, or a product, you can pre-sell it. And that validates what people want before you put the time, money, and effort into whatever you're selling. So always consider that, please. I want you to always be paying attention with your cash flow. Okay, building community. Like I said, building community is so, so, so important. And this is where your money maker's at, okay? Building community, though, isn't just about making money. It is about providing value, creating relationships, really caring about who's on the other side. I don't care if you have a community of 1, 10, 1,000, 100,000. It doesn't matter because you're always talking to one person. There is one person on the other side of that email, on the other side of that phone, or that text message, or that phone call. Always be focusing on that one person you're helping with your product or service. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I see people make when they're building community is they do not have an email list. I need to make sure you're collecting emails from your community as well as phone numbers, right? Now you're starting to see text communities and text groups. So collect your emails, collect phone numbers. Even if you don't do anything with the phone numbers right now, collect them. And here are some ways that you can make sure that you're collecting information from your community. This is because you do not own Facebook or Instagram. I need to make sure that you have a way to contact your community without the algorithms of Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, Clubhouse, whatever platform you're on. You need emails. This is where your money maker's at, okay? This is how you start to communicate with them. This is how you start to provide them services and products and resources that help them with their problem. And this is also how you build relationship with them. So you can collect emails via webinars, online challenges, summits, retreats, free downloads, ebooks, collaborations, all different types of things. You just want to make sure you're getting their email in exchange for a resource. Now, here's one important thing. Pick one, okay? If you want to make money real fast, do a webinar. Your webinar will be your first because in a webinar, people start to see you. It's easier to build that know, like, and trust factor through a webinar versus a challenge, summit, or retreat. A challenge is great. It just takes a little bit more time. A summit or retreat is awesome for collaborations and expanding your community. So when I do a summit or retreat, I interview other experts that also have communities. I usually will interview about 10 to 20 experts. I'll pre-record videos, and then I'll use it as an online summit that people will gain access to those interviews. The good thing about that is everybody I interview, they share the summit with their community. So that's a really fast way to build your email list. The thing is, it just takes some time, obviously, to do all of the interviews. So based on when you need income, you may prioritize these differently. So webinar, really fast. That's good. Get a client, get on a one-on-one call, or sell your product or service. A challenge, usually a 5-7 day challenge works really well. Again, that takes a little bit more coordination, and it could still be great, but it might just take a little bit more coordination. Summit or retreat, they're awesome, especially for your collaborations. But again, it just takes a little bit more time. But a summit or retreat will probably increase your email list the most because you're collaborating with different communities. Then you have your freebie or your download. Your freebie or your download is a great way to get emails of your current community that you currently have. Same with a webinar. So I want you to look at where you're at in your business strategy and what makes the most sense for you. Pick one, and then you can do the rest later, right? This is where we want you to honor where you are in your journey. Do one and then have fun the next time you do your others, okay? Other useful ideas to build community: contests and giveaways. I'm actually part of a giveaway next week, which I'm super excited about. So keep your eye open on my Instagram. One really fun tip that I am always learning when I look at other people Some of the best giveaways for women in particular are purses, right? I didn't really realize. So purses are really good giveaways, and always include your services or product as well. So for example, at the end of the month, or next month rather, I'm going to do a purse giveaway and then add some free coaching sessions with me. Make sense? Okay. Same with collaborations. Like I just said, that ties to summits. When you collab, do interviews, do giveaways with other people, they're sharing it with their community. So my giveaway I'm a part of next week, we're a ton of women and we just collaborated on a giveaway. PR, media, speaking, that's podcasts, speaking in different communities. So a really great way to build your community is also speaking in other communities. Reach out to them, see if they want you to host a free webinar or if they're part of a podcast. Start speaking in other communities to expand your community. Now, really important, when you're speaking in other communities, you have to still collect emails, right? So either have your freebie that you can promote when you're speaking in other communities, or have a webinar or something like this within the community and collect emails when you're doing the webinar. Make sense? Awesome. Okay, we're almost done with the mistakes. So I think this is our fifth mistake, is people just don't show up. If you really want to be an entrepreneur, I know it's hard, but you're going to have to put yourself out there. I really need you to think, what do you want to be known for in this world? What do you want people to learn from you? What do you want to be known for? You have to start talking. It doesn't matter. When we talked about community, I said this, it doesn't matter if it's one person, 10, or 10 million. You have to start showing up. And so this might also bring up things within you about confidence. Are you good enough? No one's going to care. No one likes me. Or it's the worst when you get a troll or someone attacking you for the first time. Oh, I remember when I was attacked for the first time real bad on social media. Whew, it was rough. I'm not going to lie to you. But now I'm stronger and better, and I know it is not about me. It's not about me. It is not about me. So if anybody reacts to you on social for you having courage to show up, it's not about you. And I know you know that, but I think you might just need to hear it again. And you being vulnerable, I know it can be scary because you're thinking, well, are they going to think I'm weak, or what are they going to think of me? Your vulnerability and you sharing your story helps give other people permission to do the same. It makes people feel normal. It makes people feel not alone. And that's always been my biggest thing, even when I accidentally started my community. I didn't want people to feel alone. I felt so alone growing up. And even in my 20s, when everyone was having children and babies and getting married, and that wasn't the journey that I chose, I felt really alone. And so I also started my community because I didn't want other people to feel alone. I didn't want people to feel like I did. Now, here's one thing. I'm going to throw in a little mindset tip here, because I want you to know that however you perceive your past, it is time for you to change how you think about your past, because how you experienced your past is based on who you used to be. And then yet we remember our past based on how we remember. But if you're always evolving and you're always growing, your perception of your past is always evolving and growing also. So if you're stuck in some of those past stories, I need you to go back to this concept of changing your past and changing how you view your past story. So even when I say that I always used to feel alone, as much as that was my truth, and I share that because I know so many people are going through that, if I were the person I am today in those moments, I wouldn't have felt alone, right? But I'm so grateful for those moments because they've made me who I am today. what I want you to do to show up. I want you to write out your story. I want you to write the things that you don't want people to know. The things where you couldn't pay for food and you didn't know how you were going to pay for your mortgage or for rent, or you felt so alone, or you had some really scary moments. You know, I suffered such bad anxiety and depression. These parts of your story are what people can relate to. At the end of the day, your ideal target is usually you in your past, and you're talking to him or her, right? And so write out your story, get really comfortable with your story and the things that you don't want people to know. Those also become the things that you help people through. Because then your story is, this is what I went through and this is how I got through. You start giving tips and tools to help them with their problems. And usually their problems, their current problems, were your problems in the past, right? So be very clear on what your story is, who you are, who you're helping, and how you can help them. I've kind of already talked about a lot of these other things, building that know, like, and trust factor, right? So the rule of thirds is when you're showing up on social, 1/3 of the time you're talking about personal, 1/3 of the time you're saving, you're sharing educational content, and then another part you're inspiring, right? You're giving inspiration and motivation. This is a really good book. If you want to get into this giving and serving and providing value, read the book, The Go-Giver. It is so great, and just how to continue giving as an entrepreneur and changing that energy about our entrepreneurial journey. Make sure to plan. It's easier to plan how you're going to show up. So what I do, I try to show up on my stories now every day. With regards to reels and posts, I actually just film them all in one day. So I usually, my Mondays, I do all my social posts for the next 7 days and the captions. And then my reels, I usually, one day a month, I put makeup on. I have 4 or 5 outfits or tops now, because you don't even need your whole outfit in a reel. And I just film them all at the same time. I'll Shazam a bunch of music. So I have a bunch of music already in my Shazam playlist, so that when I do my reels, I already have 20 songs that I already want to use. And so what I always tell my clients and people, batch all like things together. So even I had a client who every week she was just feeling so overwhelmed. I said, okay, what do you have to do every week? Well, I have to send out my email. I have to create a blog. I have to create a video. I have to create my social. And so what we did was batch her like activities together. So one week she was doing all her writing. She was doing her blog. She was doing her emails. The next week she was doing all her filming. The next week she was doing all of her editing and her creative. Right? So batch all like things together, because what I want you to think about are what parts of your brain are needed for each activity. If you're having to jump between filming and then writing and clients and building your product or sales, it can be really difficult. Now, I want you to focus on, okay, what are similar items, and keep all of those together. So for example, this week, I'm actually just doing social. I'm fixing my highlights and on my social, and I am building all my freebies. So I'm really in content creation mode, and I batch that all together because it takes the same part of me to build all of that. When you're showing up, always making sure that you are providing value, right? You're telling them what you're going to tell them. You are touching their problem. You're telling them a tip of how to solve it, and then you're giving them a call to action. What is a call to action? We're going to talk about this in the next slide when we talk about sales. But a call to action is really understanding, what is the customer experience, right? How are people coming in and experiencing you, and then where do they go after? And this is the, where are you sending people? So here's kind of what that looks like. So where are people coming in from? Where are those leads coming in from? Then where are you sending them once they come in? Are you sending them to a webinar? Are you sending them to a freebie, which is a free download, to book a one-on-one call, to purchase a product? And here I'm going to remind you again, don't get overly complicated. Don't look at this and think, oh crap, I have to have a webinar. I have to have my freebie. I have to have my product. Just start with one. We'll take it slow. Okay. If your people are coming in and you just send them to a webinar, you just send them to a freebie, that's good for now. We're going to take it one step at a time. Okay. No need to get overwhelmed, because I know it can be, and I've been there many times. Then we're going to figure out, okay, where do we bring them after, right? So we're going to link this to our numbers, right? I need you to think, okay, what am I selling and how is it best to sell this? Is it best to sell this through a webinar, through a one-on-one call, through an email, through a live meaning, depends where you're at during COVID, but is it a live event, a virtual event, whatever that is? How am I going to sell my product or offer? High ticket products are usually better sold on the phone, on a sales call. Lower ticket products you can sell through email. A webinar is good, or an event is good as well. So just make sure you know what best fits your revenue and business model. And then you sell the offer. Okay? Does that make sense? If you have questions, let me know. Send me a DM, get on a free call with me. I'm happy to help you strategize what your customer journey looks like. But always be thinking, okay, where are they going? Am I being clear? On my social, you'll see every day I give them a call to action. DM me webinar if you want to get more tips on how to build your sales funnel. DM me sales to figure out more tips on how to sell on a one-on-one call. You know, DM me free if you want to join my free meditation tonight. Always be encouraging them to engage with you and be always providing value and tips. You'll notice on my Instagram, I'm always providing a tip. I'm always providing value because I really want people to build that know, like, and trust factor with me so that they know who I am, they see who I am, and they know how I can help them. Here's another example, depending on how you visualize. If people are coming in from your Instagram, you can send them to 3 different things. Once you've sent them there, where do they go? So you can just take a quick look at this. It's pretty much the same slide as before, but I just want to be aware that everyone learns differently. And so here's another way to kind of lay out your customer journey. So after this workshop, if you want to sit down and really look at, okay, where are my leads coming in from? Then where do they go? Where am I sending them to? Right? So that means on my Instagram, I'm sending them to a webinar, I'm sending them to a one-on-one call, or I'm sending them to a freebie, right? Where are you sending them? And then what's your end goal? If you want to bring in money right now, you're probably going to have a higher ticket item and sell on a one-on-one call, right? Again, this depends on where you're at in your business. I like to give a couple extra tips for the starter outers, but if you're further down in your business, and it just depends, maybe your goals right now are higher monetary goals, then stick with the one-on-one calls, your higher ticket. But if you're selling memberships, if you're selling a lower ticket product, then you may be able to modify that strategy depending on your community as well. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost done. This is 6. Number 6 is your sales. So the biggest issue I see people making is they're just not selling enough. And I already said this, 80% of your time should be spent on sales. Now you might be thinking, well, wait a second, Vanessa, you told me to batch like activities. So if I'm batching like activities, then maybe I'm not doing sales all the time. I'm only doing it once a week. And I'm going to call your bluff, because really you're selling in all of those things. If you're writing in emails, blogs, social media, all sales. You're getting on phone calls, all sales. If you're doing your marketing plan, all sales. So much of business is sales. And I need you to get really real with yourself about how you feel about sales. Do you like sales? Do you have this like icky feeling about sales? Because we've all been sold things by people that just don't care about us and just want to sell. I really want you to start thinking about, how can you sell authentically? Do you need to be better at sales? Right? What are your conversion rates? How many people are seeing your product or service? How many people are purchasing and taking action and engaging? Here's where we start to get you really good at sales so that you can help people. Again, read the book, The Go-Giver. Sales is not about you. It's about the person that you can help. If you can actually help them. If you can't help them, I don't want you to sell to them. But if you can help them, it's about you helping them with their problem. If you can really help them with their problem, it's not sales. It's an exchange of goods and services and energy. I know you can help people. So stop getting in your own way and get out there and actually help them, which means you really need to communicate. Who are you talking to? What problem are you solving? And why are you the person to help them with that problem? Get that really clear in your head. And if you want, send me a message and I'm happy to send you my training on sales. You can even just go look on my Instagram right now at I am Vanessa O. And I have tons of posts on your top 7 sales questions or how to answer sales objections. Being an entrepreneur, you need to get really comfortable at sales and selling your product or your service. I will be so honest when I tell you I love sales. I love sales because I get to really connect with the other person on the phone. And I get to really help them if we're a good fit and if I can help them with the challenge that they're currently having. It's a beautiful exchange and relationship. It's not just about the money. You might also want some extra mantras in here that people love to pay you. They love to pay you and it's worth every penny. This is where your money mindset stuff might come in as well. So make sure when you're working with people to also collect testimonials so that you can see how you're helping people and other people can see how you're helping others. Again, knowing your numbers in sales is important. How many sales calls are you getting on? How many people are purchasing from your sales calls? Knowing your analytics, your data, your stats is really important. That's how you improve and grow. I get so many people that come to me, my clients, and they say, you know, I want to hit X amount of dollars. And then we go through their sales strategy and they go, no, I'm doing all of that. Well, if you were doing all of it, then you'd be making more money. Doing the do doesn't necessarily means you're doing it well. And that's sometimes a tough pill to swallow. But are you doing the do and can you improve? And oftentimes sales is a really big area that you can improve because I don't want you leaving money on the table and I don't want any leaks in your sales process because when you get on a sales call or you get in front of people when you're speaking or in a webinar, I want to make sure you can close and that you can actually help people. It's really, really important for you to, and that comes back to your confidence. Can you confidently say, I can help them and I'm the person for you? And why you? Know that. Like write in your journal tonight, what am I solving and why me? Why should someone choose me? Because you care about them. I know you do. So don't let one of those other pushy salespeople get them before you do, who isn't going to care about them. Because I know you care about them. And I know you're going to help them more than that other person who just wants their money. So I'd rather you have their money. I would. It's just an exchange. If you want to create more automation as well, so once you've created all of the sales, you validated your product, you validated that people want it, the next part is to create some automation in your sales process through emails, automated emails and sales funnels and nurture sequences. Now, if all of that goes over your head, don't worry. You can build a 6-figure business just doing what we talked about right now. You need 0 automation to reach 6 figures. I promise you. Now, it depends what your product is that you're selling, but you can really sell without automation. Now, the automation is just a bonus. So if you want to learn more about automation and how to launch a product or a service, I highly recommend the book Launch by Jeff Walker. And he goes through his entire sales process and what his emails look like to sell via email. They're awesome. Lots of people do this in very different ways. So don't feel like there's only one way. It also depends on your community, whether they like long emails, short emails, and what kind of content they need. So there is a little bit of trial and error around this, but just know that you don't have to do that to be successful. It's just bringing you to the next level. Now, this wouldn't be sales slide if we didn't talk about ads. I want to give you a little asterisk here about ads. Oftentimes people go into ads too quickly. I need you to make sure you know what your sales process is, you know what you're selling, you know where people are coming from and where you're bringing them. I need you to know that chart of that customer journey and that sales funnel before you do any ads. Because if you're spending on ads and you're not able to capture those leads and send them somewhere or turn them into a sale or a client, you're wasting your money. Real truth there. So don't go into ads until you have validated your product and you can sell. Don't think the ads are going to sell for you. I need you to learn how to sell, and then your ads will just amp that up. Okay, so here's a recap of everything we covered. We talked about mindset. We talked about your business strategy and knowing your numbers and what does your business revenue structure actually look like. We talked about how to create an offer that actually sells and how to survey and talk to your community so you know what you're selling them. We talked about how to build community and collect an email list. Then we talked about how to provide value and actually show up and build that know, like, and trust factor with your community. Then we talked about sales, how to actually sell, and just reiterating, making sure that you're selling 80% of the time. And if you really look at and audit your business right now, are you currently making any of these business mistakes? And if you are, that's okay. They can all be solved. And if you're not there yet, honor where you are in your journey and just continue to make these your next goals. Okay, my next is to do this. My next is to do that. And I don't want you to think sales is the last thing because it's the 6th on this list, because it should be near the top, but I don't want to scare you. Just make sure that you are curious, you're excited. And there's 2 elements to your business here. You, your mind, because it all starts with you. And then just knowing, having that curiosity to learn and to grow and to surround yourself with the right people so they can help you get to your goals, because you don't have to know it all, I promise you. So make sure to ask for help along the way, just for being here on this workshop and for investing in you. I'm offering you a free one-on-one call with me so I can help you either go through your offer, go through your numbers, and strategize how to make this work for you and how to build your revenue, make money, and also find the peace that I want you to have on your entrepreneurial journey. So you can DM me on Instagram or send me an email, either way, and just say, hey, I was on your session, I'd love to hop on a call with you. Really easy. And I'd be happy to do so. I truly want to see you succeed. And I want to be here for you because other people were there for me, and I want to return the favor because I believe in you, even though I can't even see your face right now. I know that you have this burning desire in you for more. And I don't want you to give up on yourself or get overwhelmed or anxious, because I've been there. And if you need more tips on mindset to overcome that anxiety and overwhelm, I have a webinar I did on that. So just DM me and I'll send it to you for free. And we just need to support each other on this journey. And I know we all have problems and challenges. So I am super stoked if I can help you overcome any of those challenges and obstacles. So send me a note if you want to chat business or mindset. I'm definitely your girl, and I cannot wait to get on the phone with you. Okay, I will see you soon.